Well, hey, everybody, thanks for jumping on. So, this is a really important month. And whether you're listening to this message today, or maybe you're watching it live, or you're listening to it in another month or two, this would apply to anybody who wants to have 5 $100 days within the next 10 days. So, it's literally how to create huge momentum and to have 5 $100 days fast. Okay. So, I'm going to give you some ideas. Now, my suggestion right up front is I'm going to share with you, don't try to implement all these ideas. Like I said, I'm going to give you one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, about 7 or 8 ideas. I would suggest you pick 2, maybe 3, and run with those and not try to do them all. Okay. So this is to work on a contest that our national is doing for June, and that's to have 5 $100 days before the 15th of June. All right. So with that said, first thing I would suggest you do is grab a pad of paper, because you're going to want to not only take notes from what I'm saying, but you're also going to start brainstorming a list. But the very first step you're going to do, grab a colored highlighter, grab your date book like this. Now this happens to be a month at a glance. And the first thing that I would do is I would take the June calendar for our unit, and I would look at when are there virtual events. So this is before we do anything else. You're going to notice that on all the Wednesdays, there are virtual events that are watch parties. So you're going to mark on all those Wednesdays that there's watch parties. Maybe you even put the time. You put like 5 and 7, 5 and 7. I'm not saying you can attend all these. I'm just saying put them down. So on your calendar, you've got 5 and 7 on Wednesdays. Then on Thursdays, you've got the sharing events, which doesn't impact your sales, although you could put them on there, but you have the 8 p.m. party with me. So at 8 o'clock on every single Thursday, we've got skincare with samples, correct? All right. Then on Saturdays, you've got Janice's watch parties, which are 8 and 11. Again, I'm not saying you're going to all these, but I'm just saying put these all on here. Okay. So now once you have those, so you're going to put on there what is being offered to you for June that could help you generate income. Okay, then the next thing that I would do is I would take a highlighter and I would look at my social life, my kids' schedule. I don't have any kids at home anymore, so my schedule is very different than what it used to be. And I would look at when could I hold appointments. So let's say Friday night you bowl. Let's just, they're not bowling yet, but let's just say you're doing something on Friday nights. Maybe you've got a knitting group or something. So maybe Friday nights are not an option for you, but you might say, gosh, I'd love to do Mary Kay Saturday afternoon. So you could literally put squares where you would like to be available. Right after Janice's watch party at 11, you could do a noon, whatever. Or you might find Saturday at 4 o'clock is good. Women get cute before they go out. Or you might say, I want to do, so those are options. You might say, well, one Wednesday night a month, I want to do something getting ready my friends for bed later. So maybe you book. So the goal would be that you have some squares on your calendar that look like this of when you would like to book appointments. Okay. Because you've got to know what is being offered to you virtually, already done. So all you do is jump on. And when are you available? When do you want to do things? All right. So I'm going to give you a couple averages. I hate averages because they're average, and I don't like anything that's average, but I do want you to kind of have something to go by. So the average woman that jumps on a virtual watch party. Now, Clinical Solutions, I think the average is a little higher because the products are a little more expensive. It's $120 for the set. But if you just get somebody on a Wednesday, typical Michael Kors or whatever watch party, or the Saturday mornings, the average person spends, I would say, about $55 to $60. Somewhere, let's say $50 to $60 just on the watch parties. If they have samples, I would say the average is probably closer to $90 per face. If they have samples, 90 to 100 per face, if there are samples. So with that said, be thinking if you want to have $100 days, if you get a mother and if you get a gal in her 40s and her sister in her 40s, and one of them has a teenage daughter that's 18 or whatever, then that could potentially be a $200-300 get together. Does that make sense? All right. So let's talk about how you're going to generate more than 5 $100 days between now and June 15th. So the number one way I would say would be look at who has a June birthday. You can go into your personal, just your personal date book. You can go on Facebook. Facebook is really probably the easiest way to do it. And when you go on your Facebook page, there's a way for you to click up in the upper thing. You can go down under your friends, and you can actually ask it to sort it by birthdays, and it'll pull up every single person who has a June birthday. So now once you have this list, let's say you have 19 people in your life that are June birthdays, and let's say out of the 19, 4 of them are Mary Kay people. Well, you're going to take them out. But the rest of them, what I would do is I would private message them each individually and say something along the lines of, hey, Heather, happy birthday. I just realized your birthday's this month. Is this a milestone birthday? Or you might say something kind of fun and cheeky and cute just to get her to engage. And when she texts back, no, next year's the milestone one, not looking forward to getting old or something fun, then you could text her back and say, did you realize for your birthday this month, you get a complete skincare and color makeover pampering plus a 15% birthday discount for the entire month? I'd love to send some samples to you. You know, create some kind of a dialogue or some kind of a question. Just one second, Lori. Create some kind of a dialogue with her to get her engaged. You could either host your own birthday celebration. So you could pick, let's say June, let's say you pick June 11th, next Friday night, and you decide you want to book a June birthday bash, and you invite all of your customers on the birthday bash. Let your customer know that they automatically get a 15% discount for there being a birthday that month or whatever you want to offer. And if they bring a friend, you'll add an additional gift to their order. It could be a free eyeliner, lip liner, whatever, if they bring a friend with them that's over 18 that doesn't already have a Mary Kay girl. Okay. So focusing on June birthdays is one option. Yes, Lori, you have a question.
Yes, I was just typing it. Sorry. And if you are able to screen share and show us exactly how to locate birthdays from Facebook?
I will try to do that at the very end if we have time. Okay.
Yeah. Thank
All
you.
right, you're welcome. Okay, so birthdays is one. Number two is host your own clinical solutions event. Now, you guys may not realize this, but the other night when Janice did clinical solutions, her entire computer crashed. So with that, when that happened, I went into the recording of her clinical solutions and I started playing it. The guests I don't even think they put two and two together, that it wasn't us live. It was, well, we were live, but the recording was done. So I have Janice's class clinical solutions recorded. So let's say Heather Hoagie knows a group of women that are 35 and over. Heather could say, oh my gosh, I'm hosting my very first clinical solutions event. I'd love you to jump on. And for jumping on, I have a gift certificate for you. I'd love your support. Grab your wine, grab your PJs or your sweats and jump on. And let's say Heather books it for, let's say she books it for this upcoming Wednesday night at 9 o'clock or at 8:30 at night. All right. She could book it at 8:30 because women are going to be already ready for bed. They don't have to come on camera. So let's say Heather does it. Heather is literally going to welcome everybody onto her Zoom. And she's going to say, you guys, welcome. I can't wait to share with you clinical solutions. She'll hold up the box and say, let's get started. And she's going to click play and she's going to literally play Janice's entire thing. So for 35 minutes, Heather's going to sit there and just let it play. It plays, Janice will jump on. She'll say, now let me tell you about the next person. She'll click the next video. So it almost feels like when you're watching it, like you're watching it live. Okay. So this clinical solutions event is great. If they jump on to clinical solutions, and I will share the link of clinical solutions. In fact, what I'll do, you guys, is I'll post it on our unit Facebook page, because if I post it on here, sometimes it doesn't work. Okay. You can't always copy and paste the link. So I will post it today as soon as we get done with this on our unit Facebook page. So the clinical solutions video, because Janice doesn't do it with an audience and there's no interaction back and forth with guests, it's about I think it's like 38 minutes, but it is such a fast-paced, fun 38 minutes. And you can stop Janice at the end before she gets to the very, very end and say, you guys, thank you so much for being on. Please reach out. I'll be reaching out to you in the next 24 hours. I will tell you, I do have a gift certificate as a special thank you for you. If you'd like to apply it toward clinical solutions, I'll be texting you, or I have a special price or whatever you want to do. So let's say Heather gets 6 women on next Wednesday night to watch her clinical solutions event. First of all, let me know if you want support. I'm happy to jump on. Or if you guys want to partner up, maybe Heather, you and Bonnie do one together. Grace, maybe you and Lucy do one together, or you and Cindy do one together. So grab another consultant, do a clinical solutions event. I would do it late enough that it's literally the last thing that they do before they go to bed. But if you find that that's not when your girlfriends can join and they want to do it right after work, do it right after work. Whatever's going to work for you guys. Just don't compete with Tuesday night's meeting. That's my plug. All right. So the fun thing about the clinical solutions event is if Heather had 5 people on there and you gave them each a $15, this is just what I do, a $15 gift certificate if they jump on. Out of those 5, Heather, I'm going to pretty much guarantee you're going to have at least 2 buyers, possibly 3. So let's say Heather does that on Wednesday night and Heather closes one right afterwards. Like she texts them all and one girl's super excited and she closes her. That's the $100 day. She talks to the other 3 the next day and 2 more buy them. That's another $100 day. So you don't want to necessarily close them all one night, close one that night and close two the next day or whatever. That gives you two $100 days. So Clinical Solutions is great. It's literally, you guys, a no-brainer. If you aren't sure how to screen share, reach out to me and I'll show you guys how to screen share and how to play that video. Okay. Third way is I want you guys to look at who is a customer that you have sold anything to since you've been in Mary Kay. And I know for some of you that's a long time, but who do you have, maybe Cindy, your top 20 customers that buy from you, but they are not on a skincare set. So they have bought repeatedly the eye cream and the cleanser, or they're buying just the day and the night cream. So who do you have? Who would be your top 12 customers? Or for some of you who are newer, like Grace and Heather, who are your customers that are buying from you? So they know you, they know the reputation of Mary Kay, they love you, they love the product, they know everything's 100% satisfaction guarantee. They're just not on skincare. All right. So we're going to have a different conversation with them. And I'm going to share that with you in just 1 second. The next group would be customers that are already on skincare. So it's somebody who in the last 12 months bought a set from you. Maybe she hasn't bought the set again, or maybe she's bought pieces of the set. Okay. So I've got a gal named Brittany. She tends to buy the whole set because she knows she's frugal. She's 30 and working her butt off at a bar and trying to save money. So she typically buys it as a set. And she says, is there a better price? I said, yeah, you get $14 off. She says, oh, I'll just take the whole set then. So who has bought a set from you that hasn't rebought the set? Okay, so you've got these two groups. They're already customers. They've already spent money with you. Okay, so let's say Cindy's got a list of 20 people that have bought from her in the last couple of months, but have not bought a skincare set, or maybe not even on skincare at all. Maybe they're a charcoal mask, micellar water girl, or maybe they're a charcoal mask and an eye makeup remover person. I've got people who just buy charcoal and gel mask from me. You know, they'll go to one of the parties and that's what they buy. So the conversation with them would look something like this. I try to get them engaged in a text first. And if I can get them to respond to a text, then my next thing is to either leave a voice text right after that or a voicemail message. They can't hear your sincerity and your excitement in a text. Even if you send a million emojis, they still can't hear your excitement. So it might sound something like this. So Cindy texts somebody who's been buying charcoal mask for 1.5 years, and she'll say something like, hey, Susan, it's Cindy. How's your face doing? You know, something fun and crazy just to get them to interact, just to get them. She goes, my face is doing great. How are you? And then Cindy can say, did you know, it could sound something like this. Did you know, since it's the end of the Mary Kay year, there is a huge skincare promotion going on. And I immediately thought of you. If you decide to get on our, you know, would you, and then you could just say something about, it's on promotion. Can I give you more details? Would you be interested? Something that ends in a question to get them to buy. That now they're chasing you. Yeah, tell me what's going on. Say, well, you know, the Miracle set and the Repair skincare set are at a 15% discount, which they never do except for Pink Friday. And so I was thinking of you because the skincare set is amazing. Would you like to get together and have me send you a sample? So if the lady lives down the street from Cindy, each situation is very unique, you guys. There's not a cookie cutter way to do this. If she used to be on skincare but got off, maybe Cindy could just get her back on because it's a special. If she's never gotten on, maybe dropping her off a sample and saying, well, if you want to get a sample, that would be great. I'll jump on with you Sunday and we'll just do you and me 20 minutes. You guys, if they know that you can do their virtual appointment, and if you don't have Zoom, you can get Zoom for free for 40 minutes. Gang, it doesn't take you 40 minutes to go through skincare and charcoal. Unless you're doing a group and you're screen sharing and do all that, you really don't. Do your face, let her do her face, put it on, take it off. While the charcoal mask is drying, you hold up the other 3 pieces and you just talk about the eye cream, where it's going to go, the moisturizers. So it's quick, it's easy. But you've got customers that are, my point is, you've got people that you've already developed a relationship with that are customers of yours that are not on skincare. Now, I did see a flyer, and I will post these on Facebook. You guys can decide whatever you want to do, but I did see a flyer that says buy one set of skincare at 15% off. No, buy one set of, I'm trying to remember the flyer. I think it said buy one set of skincare, get 15% off. Buy the second set, get 30% off. Buy the third set, you'd get 50% off the third set, 30% off this, and 15% off that. I've also seen people that say buy 2 sets of skincare, get the third one free. So you guys, even if you give them 15 or 20% off on a set of skincare, you're still making, because of the discount right now, you're making 60. So if you give them 20, which I never discount, and my customers know that. So it's a big deal when I run a discount. Now, I will tell you, when you guys go to order the ultimate sets, If right now you order a Miracle Set, Ultimate Miracle Set, it comes with microdermabrasion, which means now you're making 60, excuse me, 60% on your microdermabrasion as well. When you order the Ultimate Repair, it comes with the glycolic radiance peel, and it comes with deep wrinkle filler, all boxed separately, but you're making 60% on those. So don't order just plain Miracle Sets, gang. Get the microderm, because microderm is such a huge seller. Okay, so you've got customers that are not on skincare and customers that bought skincare, but maybe they haven't rebought it as a set. And what's interesting is if they go to buy it and they're used to using it, and maybe they're not as low on the night cream, but they're getting low on everything else. But if I got a whole set, I not only get $14 off, but I get another 15 to 20% off. I would buy that in a heartbeat. I'm about volume though. I'd say, well, you get 15% off one, but if you buy two, you get 30%. Okay, so you're still making 30%, but you're getting her to buy 2 sets of skincare. Does that make sense? So it might even be she might buy one for her sister, her daughter, her mom, whatever. All right. The next idea is trash and treasure. And this is really fun. In fact, Monique posted a really fun thing on it the other day. So I reached out to a client of mine, Johanna, who has bought a skincare set for me, but her sister sells some other line of something at a department store. So she went to her sister's line and wasn't super happy. So she said, hey, I'm interested in getting back on Mary Kay. And so I said to her, so she goes, I just don't know that I want to get the whole set, money's tight, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, what do you need? And she rattled off literally the ingredients of the Miracle Set. Well, I need a cleanser, I need an eye cream. And so I said, Johanna, do you have an eye cream at home that you don't like? And she goes, yeah. And I said, okay, so set that aside. Do you have some moisturizer with SPF? She goes, yeah. I said, okay. Do you have a jar night cream of some sort? And she goes, oh, I do. I have Olay. I have a bunch of stuff. And I said, do you have any kind of a cleanser? She said, I think so. I said, then put all 4 of those in a bag, put those on your porch. It's called Trash and Treasure. I will pick them up. Now, she doesn't live very far from me, but the goal is that you throw them away and you give her the Mary Kay equivalent, which I would say would need to be in a set, at 20% off. So she's going to save 20% on her Miracle Set. You're getting 4 things out of her bathroom, so she's not tempted to go back to them. So it's called Trash and Treasure. It's really fun. I've even done it when they want to trade in makeup, if they want to trade in lipsticks they aren't happy with. I really want to build loyalty though. I really, really want to build loyalty in skincare. So if they've got anything that resembles a aggressive scrub, like a microdermabrasion, you could say, oh my gosh, well, if you get the Miracle Set, here's another thought. You could do the Miracle Set at regular price and the microderm at half off. And say, well, if you get the Miracle Set now, you get the microderm at half off. So use those. Okay. The second to last idea is Silent Hostess. What Silent Hostess, remember, we're trying to generate $100 days. So let's say Heather's involved in a winery where she works. She's involved in a wine club. Everything has to do with wine, Heather. But she's involved in different groups where she's got different girlfriends. So let's say she picks 3 of her most excited girlfriends from these 2 groups or these couple of groups. And she'll reach out to them and say, let's say one's name is Suzanne. She'd say, Suzanne, this is Heather. Do you have a quick second? She'll say, yeah, what's up? And say, oh my gosh, how would you like to get a $100 shopping spree at half off? She's like, really? And say, yeah, you'd hardly have to do anything. And she's like, okay, well, what do I need to do? Now you could be more generous and say you can get $75 free. You can offer whatever you want. Just don't give away too much because you want to be able to make some money. So you would say to Suzanne, well, Suzanne, don't you work at a senior care facility? And she go, yeah, I work at that huge convalescent hospital. And say, oh my gosh, this is perfect. So what you're going to give Suzanne is you're going to give her a big 9x12. It's way bigger than this, but it's a big 9x12 manila envelope. In the envelope, this is important to write down, right on there, put in a lookbook. Make sure your information is written on the back of the lookbook. You might even put a Spanish lookbook and an English lookbook if you've got both. You're going to want to put a tracking sheet. So we've got tracking sheets for Silent Hostesses. They're on Janice's website. I can also post some. And on the tracking sheet, there's lines, and each line represents either, you can do one of 2 ways, either an item sold, whether it be an $8 item or a $40 item, it's an item sold, or each line represents so much in sales. So you could do it where each line, if it represents $10 in sales and one lady buys 4 things, her name goes on 4 lines. So we do have a sheet like that. So if you require that they fill out 30 lines, that guarantees you a $300 party. Does that make sense? So if Heather gives it to Suzanne, Suzanne takes it to the hospital. Suzanne's coworkers look through the catalog and go, I want this, I want this, I want this. So if I buy, let's say $50 worth of stuff on the $10 a line sheet, Heather's going to put my name on 5, I'll put my name on 5 lines. And at the end, Heather will say, well, I'll be doing a drawing of the names that are on here. So my name would go in 4 or 5 times, depending on how much I spend. So silent hostesses are great. And I'll tell you the most effective ones to do. Pick 3 of your customers that love Mary Kay, like thinks satin hands is to die for, thinks the microdermabrasion is to die for, thinks the charcoal mask is to die for. Why? They're more enthusiastic toward the product. They're more motivated because they want a half-off shopping spree or free, whatever you choose to do. You have to ask yourself, does 50 free sound better than 100 at half off? And you can even ask her, you can either get 100 at half off or you can get 50 free. The 50 free one costs you 25 bucks out of your pocket though. The 100 at half off doesn't cost you anything. You could also do 100 for 35. That really gets them. They're like, what? Because that's like 58% off. Now, the one thing you do want to be careful of though, is that while Suzanne is running around her nursing home facility, she might be getting orders from people who already have a consultant. And that's the one thing on the form. You want to say, check here if you already have a Mary Kay consultant, because we want to make sure that we're not stepping on other customers' toes. We don't want to service other people's clients. But the silent hostess idea is great. So let's say Heather gives Suzanne that envelope, only give them a week. They don't need, you guys, it's like your taxes. They do it the night before. You do not need to get these silent hostess people 2 weeks. They take it to work, they pass it around, they talk it up within the week. I often will drop the envelope off on Monday, pick it up on Friday. Because over the weekend, she's just going to take it back home. Unless it's someplace that doesn't, that's 24 care, like a hospital or whatever. So silent hostesses are great. And the very last one is for you to book your own watch parties and parties with samples. If you guys just looked at your date book between now and June 15th and said, okay, if Janice is doing the Wednesday watch parties and Janice is doing Saturdays, and then Diane is doing next Thursday with samples, Janice is doing, so just look at what's being offered and maybe you start doing your own. Because I will tell you guys, when a hostess is motivated and the hostess invites people, that's really where you're going to get the biggest mileage. Most of my newest team members came from parties being booked. So Abby, I met at the chamber, didn't really know her, met her once, called her and said, hey, I'd love to pamper you. You told me you have 6 sisters. Does that sound like fun? And she said, yes, let's book it. She just booked it with me right on the spot. And then it turns out none of her sisters could come but one. So then from that party though, I booked another party. And then off of that party, I booked another party. That's where I met Carla, who's now my newest team member. And I gave her all those customers. So can you imagine if you guys between now and the 15th could find 2 dates, just 2. Could be a Saturday, could be a Sunday, could be a Monday night, could be a Wednesday night after Janice's event. Just look at when you have things. So June 15th is a Tuesday. So you could do Monday the 14th, you could do Sunday the 13th, Saturday the 12th, Thursday the 10th after the sharing events. You know, if Janice does a sharing event, if it ends at 7:30, you could do an 8 o'clock thing on Thursday night, which is also when I'm doing them. But if you want to do your own, you can with samples or jump on mine with samples. But when they have samples, remember from the very beginning of this call, I mentioned that when you have samples, you are going to have higher sales per face than if you just do a watch party. But there's also power in numbers. Now, the last tip I want to bring up is if they are on a watch party, I find the ability to book them for their own party goes through the roof. So 2 Saturdays ago, Janice was doing her watch parties. I got 3 new people that I've been trying to book that just wouldn't commit to jump on a Saturday. 2 of the 3 ended up booking a party because they see the Hydro July patches. They see all the stuff that they want. They don't want to pay for it all. And they're going, well, this was really fun. Let's do samples and I want to book a party. So those are just some ideas of ways that you guys can have those 5 $100 days. Also, let's say you're calling and you've been around a while. So Grace, Sandy, and Cindy, this would apply more to you, maybe to you a little bit, Heather, is you can always call them and say, hey, I'm doing customer appreciation week. And I just want to know you're an important client. I wanted to check in. Are you in love with your skin? I used to, as a consultant, struggle with what to say when I'd call people. It's like, what I wanted to say was, hi, it's Diane. I'm calling to see if there's anything you'd like to buy because I want to see if you're out of anything. Well, you would never say that. So we have to be careful on what we say. So it would sound something like, hey, Heather, it's Diane. How are you? How's your new job? And she'd send me back a text. My job's great. And I'd say something like, don't answer your phone. I'm just about to call. Or is it okay if I call and leave you a voice message? I have something important to tell you. Don't answer or something. And she'll go, okay, because she's probably at work anyway. And I'll just leave her a message and say, hey, it's Customer Appreciation Week, and I'm curious, are you in love with your skin? Is there anything you'd love? Is there anything you'd love to have? I'm going to be in your neighborhood tomorrow. Is there anything you'd love me to drop by? And I personally, you guys, if it were me, I would so sell the cooties out of the skincare. And keep in mind, Botanical is also at 60% off. So how many moms would like to buy a Botanical set for their young adult? And honestly, a lot of these kids, their faces are broken out. Their faces, they don't, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, they don't need acne skincare. They just need to wash their face. Most of the moms I talk to, I say, do you think your child or think your young adult skin is broken out due to lack of washing, or do you think they actually have acne? And she goes, no, I'm pretty sure it's due to lack of washing. Then get them on the Botanical line. It's at 60% off. If the mom buys hers, tell her you'll give her her kids' Botanical set at 25% off. So the mom pays $110 for hers and gets the kids at 25% off. They'll jump on that. And then the last quick idea that I'm doing is don't ever hesitate doing gifts with purchase. Now, I personally would rather not give a discount because it takes money out of my pocket. I'd rather get them hooked on something new. So I, day before yesterday, did a facial on a gal one-on-one. And I said to her, she goes, well, I'm really thinking about getting the Miracle set. And I said, well, if you do get the Miracle set, you can have any one of these other sets at half off, or you can get the micellar water as a free gift with purchase. And she chose, even though it's a much better savings to get the Microderm at half off, she chose to get the micellar water for free. So I was offering her micellar water or eye makeup remover as a free gift if she bought the Miracle set right then and there. So those are just some of the ideas on how you guys can create $100 days, but be strategic because I don't want you guys to pass up on something. So if Grace checks her Facebook today or her website and she sees an order for the Repair Eye Cream, which is $42, so you got to think to yourself, okay, I only need to sell $58 today to make it a $100 day. What would that look like? That's just a set of a Microderm and an eyeshadow, or that could be a charcoal mask, a gel mask, and a brush. So when you guys get any sale, be thinking, what do I need to do to get it to 100 so I can have that $100 day? Because all you need is 12 of those in a month, and you've got enough money to do a $600 order and win all your Spark jewelry, and then the rest goes in your pocket or you pays your bills or whatever. But you only need minimum of 12 $100 days in an entire month. But you guys, nothing would make me happier and Lori happier if we had our units always winning Janice's Kate Spade giveaways. Like I would love nothing more than our units to win the first one and the second bag. So your odds are better if you get into the first drawing because a lot of people will get 5 $100 days by the end of the month. But it's the top of the creme de la creme that are going to get 5 in by the 15th. All right, so let me go ahead and pause this. Okay, so the question is, how do I find birthdays on Facebook? So let me go really quickly on here and screen share. Now I will warn you guys, I have 1,900 Facebook friends, probably 1,300 of them are Mary Kay people. So it's going to come up. So it says I have 1,618 friends. And part of that's just from Quantum Leap and the things that I speak on or whatever. People will, I don't know, but I also quit. I don't know. I quit clicking on everybody to be a friend or join or whatever. So anyway, you're going to click on friends. All right. So once I click on friends, it's going to bring up all the friends. All right. Do you all see this now? There's my daughter. So, so remind me, Lori, remind me to come back to show you the mutual friend thing. So I'm going to click on birthdays. And now I'm going to look at this. So Peggy Young, she is a Mary Kay girl, but her birthday is tomorrow. She's in Mary Kay. 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 Brandy, I don't even know who some of these people are. Okay, now this is interesting. She is not a Mary Kay. She and I used to be in touch. She moved away. Her birthday's in 3 days. So I'm going to click on her, right? And then I'm going to go down here to messaging and I'm going to private message her and say, hey, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. How are things going? Does that make sense? So that way you could reach out to, so Rachel Starr Garrison's birthday's today. We already knew that. So you could go down here. These are the birthdays from in the next couple of days. If you want to see beyond that, you can go beyond that. All right. So these are just your birthdays that are like in the last couple of days or today. Does that make sense? Now, let me show you guys another great way. And I was kind of hoping that Bonnie and some of you guys would do this. How many of you guys are looking for more names and numbers to just reach out to and pamper? Okay. So what you could do is you're going to go back to your all friends list, right? And you're going to I'm going to pick people who are not in Mary Kay, obviously. So you can tell all of these people are all Mary Kay girls. Claire, now this is my sister-in-law. But now let's pick my sister-in-law, for example. So I'm going to click on Lisa, my sister-in-law, and I'm going to go to what mutual friends we have. So when I go down here to her friends, it says 55 mutual, correct? So when it says see all friends, now I'm going to click on the ones that are mutual. Now she's my sister-in-law, so we're going to have a ton that are left over that are family. Here's her kids, my aunt, but I'm scrolling down and go, okay, a lot of these are family members, okay? But so I'm going to grab a pad of paper and I'm thinking, you know what? Cheyenne's a distant cousin. I've never approached her. She just turned 24. She's engaged. I need to reach out to her. So I'm going to write her name down. Okay. A lot of these are cousins. I've already approached them or they're already customers of mine. I'm thinking, oh, this is one of Lisa's friends that just bought a skincare set for me. So I would write her name down. So I'm just looking for friends that are not relatives. Does that sort of make sense? So you guys can go down and you can look. So let's just say let's just say I reach out to Lynn. This is also my other sister-in-law. If I click on her, now I'm looking at what mutual friends do I have of hers? So now it's dropped smaller. It says 24. So I said, see all friends. And I'm just curious, who are the mutual friends she and I have? I already guarantee, because we don't run in the same circle, she lives in Oregon, that none of these people, they're all going to be family. Every single one of these is on Mark's side of the family. Yep, every one of them are relatives. Okay, but you don't know until you click on it, right? But what's really fun is to go in and choose like your kids. Like if Lori was on Lori's page, Lori could click on her daughter, Linnea, and I guarantee you it's going to have a long list of people that you might not even realize that you've got it'll just help you come up with names. Okay, so you're going to go to your friends and you can go down here and just click any one of your friends that's fun. So I'm just looking at who is not in Mary Kay, who's actually, this gal's amazing. Suzanne Harvard, we went to high school together. She's super, super sweet. We have 38 mutual friends. So I'm going, okay, let me go on here. So again, I go to friends, I go to mutual friends, and I'm saying, okay, who in here have I never approached? Who would I love to pamper? Oh my God, I haven't talked to Cindy in like 15 years. She's a customer of mine, but she's probably one of the only few that are on here. Well, Francine's a mutual friend. She's a Mary Kay girl. Janice is on here. She's one of my closest friends. So you literally can just go down and grab a piece of paper and just start writing names. And if it's somebody you haven't talked to in years, you just send them a private message and say, how are you? What are you doing? How is life? Have you survived COVID? What's going on in your life? So the thing with Facebook is really fun, but sometimes you want to click on your friends and see what mutual friends you have. That would be a great thing for you to do, Heather. If you guys don't have a huge influx of who you know and that kind of a thing, it kind of helps broaden that. And of course, Janice is re-recording a thing on 10 ways to meet people and make contacts. And one of them is like join a chamber, go to Facebook, and we'll be sharing all those ideas with you guys. But I really want you just to have laser focus on the 5 $100 days. So just to wrap up in closing, look at this. So tonight I have nothing scheduled that's open to the public kind of thing. Saturday, tomorrow, we have 2 watch parties. One's at 8, so one's at 11. So if I was Heather, I'd be thinking, okay, 8 o'clock's a little early for my California girlfriends. So who do I know in the middle of the US toward the east? Who do I know in Arkansas, Texas, even Colorado's an hour later? Like, who do I know who is in another part of the country? I'm thinking, you know what? My niece is in Michigan and it's 2 hours later. So that would be 8, 9, that would be 10 o'clock her time. I should reach out to her. So how many people could Heather get on the 8 o'clock session? And then how many people West Coast could she get on the 11 o'clock session? Now I will tell you, our unit is only 5 guests away from doing a Kate Spade drawing, 5. So if we get 5 guests on Saturday, now they can't be guests that you guys have already invited on. So Grace, if you had somebody on the other night, we can't count her again. But if you guys get new people on for tomorrow, all we need is 5 and we're going to give away one of the Kate Spade gifts. You guys, we can totally do this. Okay, and so all I'm saying to you guys is utilize those. So you have to be thinking a week ahead. You've got 2 options on Saturday. Next week, Wednesday is the Kate Spade. We changed it for Michael Kors. So it's a Kate Spade event, 2 showings. Don't know why, but it's 4:30 and 7:30. I know it's the only Wednesday that Janice changed the times on, but it's 4:30 and 7:30. And then and this is all on our unit Facebook page. And then on Thursday, we've got the 2 opportunities. But remember, Thursday night, I'm doing skincare and charcoal and microderm. And then Saturday, you've got another watch party. So you've got all of this that's already plugged into you, but plus whatever you guys could book yourselves. All right.